Hi, I'm Bob Humphrey with another tip from Yamaha Outdoors, and today we're going to talk about getting ready for bow season. It may still feel like summer, but archery season is not far off, and now's the time to get ready. Do so by using the 3 P's in preparation to prevent poor performance. Okay, the first P is preventive maintenance. You want to go through your bow from top to bottom and make sure everything is in good working order. Check all the screws, nuts, and bolts for tightness. There's a lot of energy transferred through the bow, through the limbs, through the riser and the axles when the bow is fired, and over time that can loosen things up. So make sure everything is good, tight, and secure so you don't have an accident in the field. Okay, while you're at it, you want to check strings and cables for wear as well. Bow manufacturers, string manufacturers might recommend that you replace those anyway every 2 to 3 years, or possibly every year depending on how much use you actually give the bow. But go through, check for wear, check for fraying, check the servings, check the strings, make sure everything is in good order there. Then when you're done with that, you want to wax your strings, okay? Get a little bit of string wax, rub it on your fingers, and work it into the string. If you do this vigorously, the friction creates heat and that wax will actually seep into the string. And in this case, this is not only going to protect it from wear, but it's going to protect it from the sunlight, just the damage of UV rays. And then of course when you were checking for tightness of all your nuts, bolts, and screws, you were looking for anything that might be rusted or corroded. Clean that up and then get some odorless oil to lubricate any moving parts. You don't want to lubricate the string with oil, that's wax, goes on the string, but oil into the axles and any other moving parts, maybe an arrest. Make sure it's odorless, because obviously we're deer hunting, we're bear hunting, we're moose, we're hunting creatures that have a very good nose, and oil, petroleum is a foreign odor, they're going to pick up on that. So odorless oil in all the moving parts. And while we're at it, I should probably mention that that applies to crossbows as well. You want to keep your servings, your strings, and your rail lubricated. That reduces the wear that's going to occur anyway over time, and it keeps this shooting machine in good shape for a longer period. Okay, the second P is practice. You want to practice, 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 enough so that all the mechanics of drawing, aiming, and shooting your bow become automatic, so you don't even have to think about it. In the heat of the moment, in a hunting situation, it just happens, and it happens the right way. And in the process of practicing, obviously you're going to fine-tune your bow so that accuracy and precision are right where you want them to be. So you'll come to full draw, you'll acquire your target, you'll make a nice smooth release, and hopefully you'll hit what you're aiming at. We're going to start out practicing on the range just to get our equipment and our body and our mind prepared, but ultimately you should practice in hunting situations. If you hunt from a tree stand, practice from a tree stand so you can get used to that steep downward angle. If you hunt from a ground blind, practice from a ground blind so that you get used to shooting through windows, shooting from a sitting position, whatever that may be. You want to simulate the hunting situation so that there's no surprises when the real thing happens. And the third P is to prepare your paraphernalia. Check your arrow shafts for cracks, scratches, dings, anything that might affect performance or possibly cause an arrow to malfunction in flight. Check your vanes. Okay, obviously this one's going to need to be replaced. Check your nocks, especially for cracks, because you don't want those to fall apart at the wrong time and cause an accident or cause you to miss an animal. Check your broadheads. Make sure they're functioning, especially if you have mechanical broadheads. And then when all that is done, put your arrow on a spinner, make sure it spins true. If it doesn't, make whatever adjustments are necessary, or make that a practice arrow and get an arrow that's going to work properly with the nock, with the broadhead, so that everything is in good working order. Obviously you're going to need some means to transport your bow. Traveling from home to a short destination in a vehicle, in a truck, in a car, you might want a hard case. If you're flying, you certainly want a hard case and a really good, secure, rugged case. If you're traveling on an ATV, you may want a hard case or a soft case with some sort of ATV handlebar or rack holders that will secure your bow on that ATV or side-by-side. And then once you get to the field, you can throw on a padded sling like this that frees up one hand for whatever other gear you may have to carry in, a flashlight going in the dark, or dragging that deer out after dark in the evening. Another thing that you might not think about until you get to your tree stand and realize you forgot it is some means to raise and lower your bow. It could be as simple as a length of parachute cord, but there are certainly more fancy versions available, some that wind, some made out of web strapping, some made out of string, some made out of cable, whatever your personal preference is. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. Obviously there's limitless almost other gear items, scent control, calls, optics, apparel, footwear, but we'll save those for another time. That's it for this time, but please check back again soon and often with the Yamaha Outdoors.